What's up, CFO gang? It's your boy Jay Tuck. Real Cowboys fans, stand up. And today I want to talk about running back Jaydon Blue out of the University of Texas. He was a 5th round pick for the Dallas Cowboys. And to be fully transparent, I know I've been saying let's wait till week 6, but I'm extremely excited about this player. And I think he is the missing piece that this Dallas Cowboys offense has been missing, specifically last year. But Jaydon Blue is 5'9", 195 pounds, 21 years old, and he is a very explosive athlete. A lot of you guys are Cowboys fans, so you probably watch Texas football. You know a lot about Jaydon Blue. And I think the biggest thing about him is there's not a lot of tread on his tires, because think back, they had Bijan Robinson, they had Jonathan Brooks, so he's kind of just been in that rotation. This year, he was the lead back, but even being the lead back, it wasn't like he got a ton of carries, only 135 carries, so it hasn't been a lot of wear and tear, and I feel like this was a great value pick that the Dallas Cowboys were able to get in the 5th round. So let's go ahead and get into the film. Now, when it comes to Jaydon Blue, like I said, the number one thing that jumps off the screen is he's an explosive athlete, and he has that gear that we've been missing, and it's going to be demonstrated in this play right here. It's a simple zone scheme, right? Texas runs a lot of RPOs, a lot of zone schemes, and the thing about him, be able to crease, cut, and once he's off to the races, there is no catching him. You'll see that, right? This is what we didn't have last year, whether you want to talk about Rico or Zeke. And I know when I say Zeke, a lot of y'all get in your feelings, right? Any of you want to toss in Deuce. Deuce hasn't shown this at the NFL level. I feel like this will translate for Jaydon Blue at the NFL level to be able to cut, crease, get out in the open field, and not be tracked down. And this is something that I think once the Cowboys lost Tony Pollard last year in free agency, we just didn't have this. We just didn't have a guy that was a home run hitter that you had to be aware of at all times, right? You see the zone, being able to press the zone. He's able to read his hats, right? Read his blockers. Where's his blocker? Where's the hole? We can all point to it right there. Okay, hit the hole, and now we're out. Okay, now we're in the open field. Let's bounce out because I have a blocker right there in the wide receiver. Boom. Right? And even with that, behind Matthew Golden, bend on the sideline, bend on the boundary, stay in bounds, keep his foot in bounds right there. Simple gear, touchdown. This is going to desperately boost our offense. Now, there's some Madden players out there. Now, I don't really play Madden anymore. I play a lot of college football. But for me, if Tuck is putting his Madden hat on, this is Jaydon Blue. This is Cavante Turpin. I'm adding speed out there on the field. So hopefully Coach Clayton Adams, our offensive coordinator, can get a little freaky with the speed that we have, because Dallas Cowboys have never been able to have the creativity and utilize some of the speed on the field. Hopefully that will change with Jaydon Blue and also Cavante Turpin, because both of those guys have a gear that's unmatched at the NFL level. But you'll see this play once again. Simple zone concept. Being able to press the zone, press with the RPO. All right, boom. Now cut back, get small, lean forward. He runs with really good pad level, good fluid hips, and he's always leaning forward. Now, he's not going to be a guy that he's going to be your mauler. That's not going to be his role. That's going to be Phil Maffa, whose film we dropped 2 days ago, so definitely check that out. Maybe Javonte Williams or maybe Nick Chubb. But he's a guy that he'll lean forward, but he's not going to run people over. You're not going to run him in the trenches in the A gap and B gaps a lot. That's really not his game. And like I said, the thing that you're really going to utilize him for is, especially in the zone scheme, to be able to press the zone, have the vision, read his blockers, plant, cut, make people miss, lean forward, right? You'll see that constantly when you watch the film when it comes to Jaydon Blue. Let's watch it one more time. Full speed, bam, cut, blockers, make a miss, lean forward. Possibly if he would have got outside, he probably would have cribbed this again. But, good vision, good burst, good low pad level. A lot of these running backs we've been talking about really don't run with great pad level. He has great low pad level. Like I said, he's only 5'9", but still, right? He's keeping things fluid, tight, and it's definitely something you want to kind of look at when it comes to your running back. On this play right here, just outside the tackles where you can utilize him a lot, just swings, tosses, getting outside. Now, I will say this, the one thing that I would say is he goes down easily on first contact, right? He goes down easy on first contact, probably at the NFL level that will maintain, but like I said, he's only 21 years old. So, that can come with getting stronger in the weight room to be able to break more tackles, but he does go down with a lot of first contact. He really doesn't drive through tackles. That's really not his game, but he can break tackles. He's more elusive, get his hips up, certain side steps and different things like that, but he's not going to really break and slip off a lot of tackles at this point. And Tony Pollard wasn't that way. Y'all remember Tony Pollard put on some size, and then Tony Pollard started playing a whole lot tougher. But when it comes to Jaydon Blue, I think that's one of the biggest drawbacks. Now, when I was at the combine, I talked to a few scouts about him because I know that, my dog Rome, CFT, was extremely high on him. So I was asking them about him. They said that the thing that really drew them back from Jaydon Blue, of course, the fumbles. He had a lot of fumbles. I think he would have 5 fumbles total last year. He fumbled twice in his Clemson game, I believe, right? So 5 total fumbles, right? So ball security was a concern. And they told me, they were like, yo, I just don't think he plays with that I'm him factor. He has the talent, he has explosive. It's like it's all there, but he just doesn't play with that I'm him, I'm that guy, I'm that dog. And there were sometimes conversations about his mindset and some of his practice habits. So that's something that's going to have to change. But when you look at him just from a pure athlete, this is the show. This is what we're going to get excited about. So if you're sitting back watching this film session, grab your popcorn, your candles, your lotion, whatever. This is what should get Dallas Cowboys fans excited about, because he has this ability to take a play and go hit his head on a goddamn goalpost. This is out. Right, we love you, Rico, cool story, bro, but we did not have this gear in our offense, specifically in the backfield. Turpin had it, but we just didn't have this running back, and I feel like the Dallas Cowboys desperately missed this. This is going to be the value add when it comes to Jaydon Blue being in a Dallas Cowboys uniform, right? Because once you have this, it really has to put defensive coordinators on their toes. Now let's slow it down to show how did we get to this point. Once again, you have the blocking scheme up front and being able to read hats. Okay, so where's my hat? We're watching Big 54 right here. Okay, now this blocker's on the inside, so we're watching the hat here. Boom, inside block. Okay, where's the next block? Okay, read that hat from 78 right there. Boom. Now we're on the outside. Okay, we got one defender to beat. And Stiffy. Gave him that stiffy, right? Gave him the stiffy. And then now we're out to the races. You're not catching them, number 20, 47. You're not catching them. Look at big 78 right now. I think that's Kelvin Banks right there. Kelvin Banks right here. Hold on. Where's Kelvin Banks? Right there. Kelvin Banks right there. He already knew. It's Cribbo. He already knew you are not catching Jaydon Blue. It's GG's in the chat, man. And this is what we've been missing when it comes to Dallas Cowboys running back roster, especially last year. We want that old thing back, especially when we had it in Tony Pollard. All right. How is he going to be used in the passing game? I know there's some rumors like, oh, he's going to play the slot for us. He's going to be a wide receiver. That's not really his game. But in the screen game, once again, that is where he's going to be able to have impact. Just simple check downs like this, get him out in space. And like I said, he's electric with the ball in his hands. So you add this once again, J Tuck putting his Madden hat on with this screen game, also Turpin screen game. You have two guys that you can quickly get the ball out in their hands and get them in space and let things happen. So I'm excited to see how Coach Adams is going to utilize those weapons that we have, right? And we don't have a lot of weapons, so we got to use what we got as of right now. I know we're banging the desk for Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Romeo Doubs, just somebody from the wide receiver standpoint. But currently, with the ingredients that we have, you got to be able to cook with it. And then once again, just being able to bend, get skinny, right? And head upfield, leaning forward, you'll take it, right? Now, I know a lot of Cowboys fans, they often ask this, right? And this must be a Cowboys thing, but, I don't see him being, a blocker per se, but he is a chippy blocker, right? You don't want him in pass pro, picking up a lot of linebackers and defensive ends, especially with his frame, right? But he plays with some chippiness, right? Little pop, right? I like that pop, right? Bam, right there, but you're not going to have him anchoring back in pass pro unless you want to get Dak Prescott's head knocked off, because, if this was Micah Parsons or somebody, it might be a little bit different, but you're just a little chip right there, a little chip and release, nothing too crazy. And on this play right here, you have this corner blitz, being able to pick up this corner blitzer and just forcing him out wide, making him run the hoop. So I think that is Arch Manning. So he can step up in the pocket, right? So like I said, you're not really going to have him, being in pass pro a lot. More than likely, when it's third down, you're probably going to be swinging him out and getting him out opportunities, whether that's wheels or different swings and different things like that for checkdowns. And you'll see him kind of, once again, that little chippiness on this lead block right here. All right, you know what I'm saying? So I see Mighty Mouse. You're playing tough, little physicality. But like I said, that's not really his strong point. Where his strong point is really going to come into play is being able to get out in the open field and hit his head on the goalpost. All right. And then also, like I said, he has the ability to run in between the tackles, but that's not really his strong point. Like I said, good vision, good burst, patient runner, patient runner, but he still kind of goes down a little too easy, right? So that's where the squat rack is going to come into play. A lot, get in the trenches and really put that work to be able to break those tackles. And then as far as a wide receiver, like I said, I don't think that you're going to be spreading him out wide and put him in the slot and some of this crazy stuff you might hear on Twitter. But he does have the flexibility, swing routes, different things like that to get out in space. Good solid hands, good reliable hands as a pass catcher. Right. And then once he gets the ball in his hands, he can turn and run. So that is Jaydon Blue, 5th round pick for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm extremely excited about this player. Like I said, has to work on the ball security, has to kind of gain that confidence. And I think the Dallas Cowboys will definitely be able to help with that. But if there's any rookie that I'm probably say, you know what, put him on Tuck's tab, it's Jaydon Blue. And I'm excited to see him in a Dallas Cowboys uniform. So if you love draft content, you love film breakdowns, or you just love having good Cowboys conversations, you're in the right spot. So subscribe to their channel. Follow me on all social media platforms at JTuck151 and turn that notification bell so you do not miss out. I want everyone to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged. And Jaydon Blue, it's time to turn up in Dallas. Let's go. Peace.